Yesterday, we told you all of former President Trump's latest incendiary attack against Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. In a post on his Truth Social website on Friday, Trump criticized McConnell for supporting legislation sponsored by Democrats, suggesting he had a, quote, death wish. McConnell had voted in favor of government funding that was set to run out on Friday night. The former president also went on to mock McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, in racist terms. We also showed you the response from Senator Rick Scott, the campaign chair for the Senate Republicans, when he was asked about those comments from Trump. Here again is Senator Scott equivocating, followed by Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney with words Senator Scott couldn't seem to find.
Trump said, quote, he has a death wish for supporting Democratic-sponsored bills. He also mocked McConnell's wife and his own former transportation secretary, Elaine Chao, as, quote, China-loving and Coco Chow. You're a member of the Senate GOP leadership. Are you okay with this?
Well, look, I can never talk about, respond to why anybody else says what they said. As you know, the president likes to give people nicknames. You can ask him how he came up with the nickname. I'm sure he has a nickname from me. I don't condone violence, and I hope no one else condones violence.
Nicknames are one thing, but this appears racist. Is that okay?
It's never, ever okay to be a racist. Look, I think you always have to be careful, if you're in the public, eye, how you say things.
I think that we saw on January 6th that words matter. We have to recognize that in the world in which we're living today, political violence increasingly is becoming part of our politics, and it cannot be that way. And we all have to be responsible for our words. When you see former President Trump just in the last 24 hours suggesting in a pretty thinly veiled way, using words that could well cause violence against the Republican leader of the Senate, saying he has a death wish, and then, launching a absolutely despicable, racist attack against Secretary Chao, Leader McConnell's wife. And then you watch the fact that nobody in my party will say that's unacceptable. And everybody ought to be asked whether or not that's acceptable. And everybody ought to be able to say, no, that is not acceptable. They ought to be required to say that. But I think that we've come to accept a level of venom in our politics that is very dangerous.
Willie, when you're asked a question, are you okay with this? The answer is no. You're not okay with this. You're not okay with racist language. You're not okay if you're a United States senator, regardless of what party you're in. You're not okay with racist language. You're not okay with language that any law enforcement officer will tell you, will increase the number of death threats, will increase the number of concerns that security around Mitch McConnell and his family are going to have. We've seen it when he attacks members of the Democratic Party. We've seen it when he attacks members of the media. We've seen it when he attacks FBI agents and members of the FBI. And we're seeing it here when he attacks Republicans. Every Republican senator understands that he just increased the risk, safety risk for the Republican Senate leader. And Rick Scott, and I would assume other Republicans, when asked, can't just say the basic, are you okay with this? They just can't say no.